6 days and counting, a tightening race until the Florida primary. The GOP candidates trying to make the most of their time. Good evening, I'm Michael Williams.
And I'm Kelly Dunn. As the clock ticks down on their campaigns here, they are crisscrossing the state, hoping to build more support. Right
now, the top two in the polls, Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich, a virtual tie, a virtual dead heat, with Romney favored by 36% of those who are being polled right now. Gingrich, 34%. Rick Santorum at 13% in the polls. Ron Paul trailing with 10%.
The top three are pulling out all the stops to meet and greet potential voters in our state, with Romney and Gingrich both in South Florida today.
We begin our team coverage with News Channel 5's Evan Axelbank in Miami with the Romney campaign. Evan.
Michael, right now, Governor Romney has his eye on what could be the largest block of Republican voters here in Miami-Dade County, and that is Cuban Americans. And he is betting that they will like his calls for freedom. Mitt Romney continued on the home stretch towards Tuesday's primary day with a standing ovation from members of a block of voters that he would love to have in his corner. Cuban Americans represent the largest group of Republicans in Miami-Dade.
I appreciate today the individuals who've been cast away in Castro's prisons, who have found their ways to freedom. We honor you today and appreciate your standing for freedom and dignity.
And so began a 20-minute speech where he made Fidel Castro the primary enemy.
If I'm fortunate enough to become the next president of the United States, it is my expectation that Fidel Castro will finally be taken off this planet.
He did leave a few words of criticism for President Obama, calling him a weak negotiator, though Romney didn't say specifically what he didn't like about the president's policy towards Cuba. President Obama has loosened some travel restrictions to the island while keeping the long-standing U.S. embargo.
From time to time, we have a president who thinks that a tyrant, that a person who considers America their enemy, that tyrant will give them something just by virtue of us giving them something.
Romney pledged to be effective in forcing out a Cuban dictator, whether it's the current one or the next.
We must not allow another generation to suffer under the hands of oppressive rulers.
The former governor of Massachusetts also did an interview today with a Spanish-language TV station, and in English he told them that he believed that the people of Puerto Rico should decide whether Puerto Rico becomes a state and their citizens ultimately get to vote for president. Now, that, of course, was not the only candidate campaigning in South Florida tonight. My colleague Marissa Bagg is following the campaign of Newt Gingrich in Coral Springs, and Marissa joins me now with more. Marissa, good evening.